My best friend of 20 years is cheating on his wife of 12 years with a guy, and now I'm involved and don't know what to do. I, 39M, have been best friends with my buddy, 38M, for just over 20 years now. We met working at a restaurant, and from the word go, we just got along really well. Obviously, over that amount of time, we've been through some shit together and seen some things, the good, the bad, the ugly, the dirty, and the hilarious, and been there for every grown-up milestone, from meeting our spouses, having kids, and losing loved ones. Marriages have been great, and our wives and kids are even close. They hang out without us, we've gone on vacations as families, and our daughters even complain that they wish they were just sisters so they could play anytime they want. Kind of all a dream scenario, honestly. Needless to say, after this many years at that level of friendship, there really isn't anything we don't know about each other or don't feel comfortable talking about. Including the fact that, back in the day, I'd seen him hook up with a guy or two. Never bothered me, to each their own, but his wife was also never informed of his experience on both sides of the aisle. While I told him I didn't agree with not telling her, it's not my place to say anything, and it's his relationship, so it's always been something I still razz him about in private when we banter, but a secret I've been expected to hold without consent for years nonetheless. Best friend or bro code or whatever, it's also something he said he doesn't care about, that he loves his wife, they have a great sex life, and he doesn't act on it, so I've always written it off as a not my monkeys, not my circus moot point. So imagine my surprise when he tells me about 6 months ago that he's been cheating on his wife with a guy, 33M, and it's kind of morphed into a full relationship or affair. Now again, for all intents and purposes, and as far as I knew per him and his wife, to my wife, remember they're good friends now too, my buddy and his wife had a great relationship, so I was shocked AF but listened to the whole story. Key points are basically, they met on Snapchat, and it ended up escalating from online, to in person, and then to hooking up. The guy knows he's married but doesn't ever want to be married himself, likes his alone time, and has a very busy career, so he is completely fine with the situation and not being the number one. They got gym memberships together and started hanging out that way. My buddy now has a key to his apartment and will work from there a few days a week instead of going to the office. His job is a hybrid work model, so his job isn't in jeopardy as a part of this. He says that it's actually made his relationship with his wife better somehow, that he's more relaxed and happy. I assume because he's now getting to express something he's been repressing? Anyways, I've now gone from a concerned and pissed friend, internally, who's been coaching him through all of the various ways and reasons that this is, and could become, even more spectacularly fucked up, and telling him to quit while he's ahead, to completely torn up inside after last week when he introduced us. Essentially, what happened was he told the boyfriend that I knew, which then became, well, I can't be a part of your daily life or your circle at all, but if your best friend knows, then why can't I meet him? And when I showed up for a coffee, not at our normal Starbucks, which I didn't think anything of at the time, there they were. I stayed for an awkward 45 minutes of small talk and then left. Yes, I reamed him out on the phone afterward when he called me to ask what I thought. Yes, I escalated my coaching him out of this situation after that as well. Now here's where the advice comes in. And I realize that up until here there have been 1,000,001 reasons for a normal person to have taken a number of different routes, but remember, this guy's like a brother to me. I've also known and been close to his wife for over 16 years because they dated for multiple years before marrying. I'm basically an uncle to his kids. Our wives and our kids are great friends too, etc. So, as much as yes, he's the one fucking up, by proxy I'm simultaneously protecting him but also a massive part of my own life, my family's life, and his family's life. So my automatic response was to fix all of it, not to end up aiding and abetting. So while having dinner as an extended family this weekend and sitting at the table, I zoned out from all of the guilt building up by proxy and almost lost it. I love his wife and his kids and want nothing but for them to have the best life as a family. But in that moment, I realized that my buddy unintentionally has me not only keeping his secret but also lying to my wife, his wife, who is also one of my best friends, and the rest of his family. I don't even want to think what my wife would do or say if she knew that I've kept this not only from her, never mind also met the guy. If I say something, I blow up their marriage, a large part of my life, my wife and kids' lives. Beyond that, what would my relationship look like with my buddy after? With his wife? With my wife after she finds out I knew? In the worst case scenario, it could literally be like the death of one or two immediate family members. I get I'm being dramatic here, but really think through the outcomes. I don't know if I can continue to keep it under wraps. The guilt I felt sitting at that table. As long as I know it's still happening, I think our dynamics will change regardless, too, because I'm honestly too emotional about it after having to face his family. I care about them too much. So either way, I'm losing. He's put me in a super fucked up position. What would you do? Tell? Give him an ultimatum? Do I tell my wife? What if she then tells? Do I just keep it to myself and be a bit removed and wait for it to end? Edit. Want to clarify a few things based on the comments coming in, and also thank you to all those who have replied already, and Tia to those who will continue to. 1. In those few weeks prior to the meeting, when I say coaching, I don't mean I'm coaching him on how to keep this up. I mean, I'm talking him through the moral, ethical, physical, mental, etc. things that are wrong about what he's doing and telling him to essentially shit or get off the pot. I haven't mentioned anything about me and my family now being involved because I've been trying to keep it focused on him and his family, and I didn't think running right in and telling on him made sense for anyone. In my opinion, he should be the one to do the right thing, and that's what I was hoping would happen over the last few weeks. I haven't sat on this for months. 2. I stayed at the coffee more so because I was frozen. Call it weak or whatever you want. I don't disagree with any of the points being made, but in all honesty, I think I was just in shock and sat and froze. It kind of became about me in that moment because there was a realization that the whole thing was something I could never even dream of doing to my wife or family, that someone I knew and loved and thought more of didn't have a problem doing it, had dragged me in without a second thought of me or my family and the broader implications. Our friendship and our lives were fundamentally never going to be the same. His family was never going to be the same either. There were so many levels of internal realization bombs of fucked up sadness that I just sat there. And yes, that sucks, and I feel awful for that and so many other things, but at the coffee, I froze instead of choosing flight. 3. I'm going to talk to my wife tonight, let her read through this all, and we'll figure out a plan together. Part of me even posting this is because of how conflicted I am with all of this, but most of all the hiding something from my wife. I know there's guilt by association from a lot of the comments in here, but right or wrong, I was hoping that he would just do the right thing on his own, not dig a deeper hole. I've never kept anything from my wife, ever. We'll post an update thread later on this to let you know how it all goes. Didn't quite expect this much of a reaction. Edit 2. Just doing this here to update everyone since I'm getting DMs and this has gotten bigger than intended. I know it's technically against the community guidelines, so apologies, but this is a shorter one, and I know everyone's going to want something bigger when the next step happens. I'll do the proper update post with that if that's okay with the mods. Chatted through everything with my wife last night. She's far more pragmatic and far less of a people pleaser than I am. She's obviously devastated on multiple fronts, but mainly, in her words, she's disappointed that I didn't come to her or feel like I could after the coffee intro bombing, but she does understand my internal conflict on all the different fronts I described. So on this point, yes, she agrees with you that I probably should have come sooner, but with my personality and the situation, she understands my pause and thinks the divorce comments for us were a little aggressive, but she gets them and likely would have said the same to anyone else posting something like this. Now, that said, this is 1000% being offset by her anger on behalf of both the wife and myself. A lot of our conversation centered around her wanting to go scorched earth immediately. I'm talking taking car keys out of hands and putting down cell phones, for all of the reasons and more that have been mentioned, namely safety for her friend, broken trust, and complete disregard for mostly her and me, but also all of us, and him subsequently putting me in this position. Don't think I need to list anything further. Everything we discussed has been covered by the various comments below and then some. It was basically a live play-by-play of the comments section, with the addition of tears, from both of us, and raised voices at the situation and him, not at me, just so we're clear. But what everyone cares about, and what I'll do a legit update on later once I have more, is where my wife and I landed on handling this. I texted him and let him know what was up, sent him this post, and told him we're meeting his wife tomorrow to tell her everything if he doesn't tonight. He hasn't responded, and I'm on read so far. My wife texted his wife and planned a wine/playdate tomorrow at our place. That's confirmed. I'll be a surprise addition working from home, which wouldn't be abnormal with this group anyway. My wife's mom is coming to take the girls to the park. We don't want them to be around, but we also didn't want them to be at home with their dad during this. Who knows what could ensue given the lack of judgment he's demonstrated, and that also gives the wife the option of all of them or just the girls staying here with us, depending on what she wants to do. More to come. Might be a few days depending on how this all unfolds, so bear with me. Thanks again to everyone. The whole situation is insane, but between this and TikTok, that's been crazy too. New update, appreciate all of the comments and DMs from everyone. The advice, concern, validation, and POVs have all been incredible. I'm still not over the response, and save for a few interesting comments and a couple from people who have clearly watched one too many Netflix docuseries, most either confirmed the proper course of action that I already knew had to be taken or provided additional angles that were helpful. It's only been a few days since everything went down, but I'll give a high-level overview of what happened and where things stand, as I've been getting messages from you all. The day we talked to his wife, she and the girls came over, and the kids left for the park with my mill and our daughters. Glasses of wine poured, we walked her through the events that had transpired over the past few weeks. Her husband, my buddy, hadn't talked to her even with the heads-up text, further solidifying what a piece of crap he is, so this was a full Band-Aid rip conversation. I think she went through every conceivable emotion, the full grief cycle, at the table. It was awful. In terms of me, she felt similarly to my wife and, somehow through all of that, was apologetic to me for him doing that and pulling me in without thinking. Obviously, the conversation was immediately refocused on her, saying that was unnecessary, that it was something I'll deal with him, and that our focus was her and the kids. She did call him after about an hour. There was lots of crying and yelling, A few hang-ups between hyperventilating, and for that day she decided that she wouldn't be going home and that she and the girls would stay at our place. We did offer a few other options, but she wanted to be close to the girls without having to be with them. So, knowing they'd be with our girls, watching movies and then sleeping in the next room, she was happy to sit and have some more wine with my wife that night, and I let them do that alone while I took care of bedtime and breakfast. The past week, the next day she went back to their place, and her girls stayed at ours for a few hours. They talked. I don't have full details on all of it, but she came back with duffel bags for her and the girls to spend an additional few days with us. Thank God it's summer vacation right now, so the girls were just excited and didn't think anything of it. The wife has gone back and talked with him another 4 times since. My wife and she have just been spending a lot of time walking, working out, staying up, etc., and I've been making sure all the girls are happy and distracted. Basically, we're both just supporting her with whatever she needs. Where are they heading? Where they seem to be netting out so far is moving. And staying together. It seems the thinking here is that it was an affair that didn't change feelings about the marriage, and after everything they still want their family to continue, or at least give it the chance to. A new location and physical distance from the AP gives that both a better chance and a greater level of comfort for the wife. I will not be posting my personal feelings in here one way or another, as the original post got so much visibility. If things change or stay the same for now, we just want to be supportive. Me and my buddy, we haven't talked since I sent the heads up message. With the many additional things that I've witnessed over the past few weeks, I don't know if I can ever be friends with him again. Unfortunately, I believe this whole thing has actually brought the wife closer not only to my wife but also to me because, on different levels, we all kind of got played by him. But because the relationship is now kind of unexpectedly continuing, I'm coming back to you guys again for some POVs because it still remains complex with how they're currently deciding to manage the situation. This is wives approved, by the way, and they're interested too. If they move a few hours away, we'll likely be seeing them significantly less. That being said, the wives and the girls will never not be close. Women are amazing at connecting even across distances, and a few hours is nothing for them to figure out some irregular visits. So there's that, which will run itself. But what now happens with family things? Do the 3 of us and the girls get punished as well now because of him? Are there no more family vacations? Long weekend BBQs? I can't exactly friend divorce him if the wife isn't even doing that. Yet. I think, at best, he'd be at the acquaintance level of my wife's friend's husband, but after 20 plus years, it'll be so easy to just accidentally slip back into being normal. So am I supposed to write him off fully and let the wives and girls figure their situation out separately? Do I agree to just be civil in family settings but no longer be friends outside of the family friendship so I don't make it difficult on the wives or the girls? What would you do? I still feel like I'm getting stuck in a terrible spot. Not that I'm sure his life won't be a living hell for the foreseeable future, and rightfully so, but I feel like I'm having to make more difficult decisions than he is for some reason.